Hello everybody, this is Chromical018, and this is going to be my thoughts and recap for That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, episode 10. I know it's been a while since I've uploaded, but the videos I just got up today are just essentially re-uploads from my second channel, so if you've already seen them, you don't have to watch them again. Because I asked you guys the question of what I should do with my second channel because I wasn't really using it. And the others said, everybody said that commented, which was like a couple people, both agreed essentially that moving the videos to my main channel was probably the best idea, since it's a lot more stressful trying to deal with two separate channels than it is with one. So this channel essentially is going to be mostly anime reactions, some cartoon reactions, game streaming, mostly Pokemon or Skyrim or whatever I decide to stream. Let's see. And that's about it, besides if I decide to do a Pokemon Let's Play or continue with the ratings. Go see Grandma! That was my nephew. Wyatt, go see Grandma! Where's Grandma? Huh? Where's Grandma, silly boy? You don't need me, silly boy. Go ask her where your bottle is. I'm gonna get you. I got him to go away. But yeah, that was my nephew, Wyatt. That Gaga, whatever he said, that's what he calls me, essentially. That's how he says Jessica. So yeah, if you heard that, yeah, that's what that was. Like, I was trying to get him to go back to see his grandma because I'm trying to do this, obviously, and I can't deal with that and do this at the same time. Anyway, that's what I decided to do for the main channel and the second channel, is to essentially merge the two together, but leave the second channel as a backup just in case anything happens to this one. Keep your fingers crossed that doesn't happen, but it's good to always have a backup just in case. Anyway, yeah, quick question before I start the recap, though. I'm planning on, ditching the Life Wireless, aka food stamp phone, to get a 4G LTE phone, and get an actual plan to go with it. And I was wondering, which phone plan do you guys use? Do you guys use AT&T? Do you guys use, T-Mobile? Any of the others? What do you guys recommend? Because I've been getting multiple answers on that, on which one people think is better, especially considering the area I'm in doesn't have a cell tower, so our signal out here is not that good anyway. But then again, I don't need a phone signal, in order to do Pokemon Go, which is why I wanted the 4G phone. Anyway, I wanted to know what you guys thought about that. Anyway, I know I should stop saying anyway. Anyway, oh, back to the recap. Everybody is celebrating that, the conflict is over between Rimuru and the ogres, and we find out that orcs had been the ones to destroy the ogre village, which is quite a shock to everybody because, in comparison, when you compare the two, ogres are naturally superior and orcs are weak. So yeah, we actually get a glimpse of the Majin that had led the orcs to attack the ogres, and we'll actually see that person later. Because yeah, I didn't recognize it at first because obviously that was seeing blind reaction, and the guy doesn't show up until later. But yeah. Another question. For those of you who watch this show, what is a Majin? I've been hearing that term tossed around since this episode started, and I have no clue what that is. Is that slang for like a demon or something? Because I have no idea. That's the only thing I can think of. Because they don't ever give any other species slang names except for the Majin thing. I'm confused. Anyway, apparently the orc. Oh, sorry. The orcs are a lot bigger when it comes to numbers-wise than we first had the impression of anyway. Because later on in the episode, there's tons of them marching. And that night, Rimuru gives them the option to join him as his subordinates and, have a home base, they have a place to stay while they regroup and try and figure out what to do next. And the prince of the group, he essentially gets some time to think about it, and he essentially gives them a yes that they will join him. And Rimuru offers them a name and offers them essentially a chance to get a name because it's easier to talk to somebody when it's easier to get somebody's attention when you know able to call them by their name. And as we know, naming too many people at once or too many monsters at once will drain your magicals and essentially put Rimuru in a hibernation like sleep for 3 days. There's only 6, so you would think this is no problem. Because he named the whole freaking goblin village, plus the direwolves as a whole because they all carry the same name, in one sitting before he did that. So you would think that 6 is no problem. Oh no. Once he got done naming the 6, he passed out. Because essentially naming a stronger monster will drain more of your magicals. And the ogres ended up evolving into Kijin, which is apparently is a species that is born from ogres, uncommonly. Yeah, I didn't know that when I watched this, so, yeah. Yeah, everybody essentially looks more human, but still with the horns. Which, I don't get that. Why make them more human when they're not even human, They don't have any, because even still, when they were still ogres, they still kind of looked human. Besides obviously the different colored skin, of course, and the horns, but they still had humanoid bodies, I mean, like, for example, the lizard men that popped up. They do not look human at all. They look like lizard men. And the goblins, well, they're goblins. And the orcs, from what we saw, look like, well, pig people. Pardon my terminology on this, but that's how they look. Any other creatures that we saw? So, yeah, the Kijin apparently look more human. I don't know why, but anyway, they all get their names. I don't remember the names right off the top of my head, and that's going to be annoying because there's so many freaking characters in the show that it's going to be hard remembering all the names. Anyway, the king of the lizard men, the chief, finds out about what's going on with the orcs, and essentially has everybody essentially he sends his son, who actually has a name, and got the name from the same person that named Rigurd's son as well. And the same guy who tried to give a name to Benimaru, I think was what his name was, the prince of the ogres, but he refused. Anyway, apparently, Gabiru has a very is very full of himself, and has a flair for the dramatics. He sends his son to go and talk to the other goblin villages to try and get aid, because obviously the lizardmen are not going to be able to handle this whole orc army alone. And they are very right to think that, because there's tons of orcs out there, and if they are mobilized, any creature can be dangerous if you give enough of them. And yeah, Gabiru gets in his head that he thinks that he's strong enough to take on the chief position and undermine his father, essentially. No, not really. Essentially, when you think you're ready, you're not ready. And when you think you're not ready, most likely you're close to being ready. Essentially, that's how it goes anyway. Anyway, yeah. I can't remember what the guy's name is. The more stealthy of the Kijin. He lets Rimuru know that there was a group of lizard men in the vicinity, which is good because the guy is coming to all the goblin villages, and Rimuru's village is a goblin village. So he's going to be going there sooner or later. Anyway. Yeah. This episode, I didn't know what to think of Gabiru. The guy was just very full of himself. I mean, sure, he's the son of the chief, but we haven't gotten to see his combat skills yet, so we don't know how good he is, so we don't know if he actually, deserves that big head or not. Anyway, I better finish this up before Wyatt tries to get my attention again, because that's what he did earlier. Anyway, I will see you guys next time.